Hello everyone, welcome to Goldbug Career, your personal finance and personal growth podcast. In this episode, we'll be talking about procrastination, why we always tend to gravitate towards this negative aspect, almost like being next to a ticking time bomb waiting to go off, while we look at the red number countdown perplexedly, and more importantly, how we can combat it with time management or simply self-management. Why is it that people seem to have no time for anything? That we're constantly working or studying for the next thing? We seem to be living in an overachiever's world, where we're expected to yield the best results constantly and without rest, and where failure is the worst possible outcome, since that means you can't keep up with the others. This whole survival mode mentality is intoxicating the minds of many people that are trying to find a purpose and a goal in their lives. Overachievement brings such exhaustion that you eventually fall into a binge of procrastination, like spending hours watching random videos that you forget about the very next day, bringing prejudice to one's self-esteem and leading to further demoralization. Procrastination is very different from taking time off or relaxing. The key is to finish one's tasks and then take your well-deserved time off, rather than continuously postponing your important task and later facing yourself with a bunch of accumulated tasks. It's not just about finding time, it's about what we do with our time. Let's say that you sleep on average 8 hours a day. What do you do with the remaining 16 hours? If you use 12 hours a day working, you'll be left with 4 hours to finish off the day. Those precious hours are used to relieve ourselves and relax after a hard day at work or study, to disconnect ourselves and think about anything else but work. If you aren't passionate about your work but you still use your free time to keep working, there's something inherently wrong about that, not just because you're invading your free time, but also because you're unable to finish your work in 12 hours. That's a lot of time. There needs to be a balance between rest and work, which has been proven countless times to be the most effective and satisfying way to live your life. The most common thing that we do when we have free time is that we distract ourselves with short-term pleasures that only last momentarily. This is not a bad thing per se. However, it really does not bring value or personal growth, and there lies the problem. It is the addictive nature of enjoyment that is troubling. Moreover, we often want to escape ourselves from reality rather than facing it. We must take control of our lives and start navigating into a direction or goal that we wish to achieve. Apart from momentary pleasures, which are healthy as long as they're limited and properly controlled, we should invest our time in personal growth, both mentally and physically. All the seemingly inconsequential small steps that we do on a daily basis easily compound over time into habits. Whether it is eating healthier, reading a few more pages of a book, exercising more, these small actions are what you should implement to grow as a person, growing a little bit day by day. When you focus on personal growth, in the long term you'll be much more satisfied. Allocating your free time to something you're passionate about is how you take advantage of time. We can't really manage time in the sense of the word. Time is and always will be there. What we can do is self-management. Producing productive results in something you're interested in might be the most fulfilling part of all. Learning to sacrifice small things such as hanging out, playing, and the occasional inebriation, and in exchange increase the amount of time spent on investing in yourself. The key here is to spend less time on things that you might enjoy but give no value or growth, while spending more time on stuff that you enjoy, giving you value and growth. Another thing we frequently spend time on is social media. According to a recent statistic, we spend around 2.5 hours per day browsing social media. One exercise includes identifying your personal Bermuda triangle. We all have one. It's that enigmatic geographical area in the Atlantic Ocean, representing a triangle between the Bermuda Islands, Puerto Rico, and Miami. Supposedly an area where multiple aircrafts and ships have disappeared mysteriously. We all have a series of activities of doubtful value that make our time seem to disappear enigmatically. This triangle might comprise of checking out Instagram stories, going into a rabbit hole search mission, ending up watching a guy building a hut on YouTube, and so on. This is time spent doing activities that give no value at all and jeopardizes your valuable free time. Identifying your Bermuda Triangle can give you a new perspective on how much time you're consuming on content that gives no value. Alright, now we need to tackle our various tasks that we have. Make an old-fashioned to-do list of all the tasks you can think of. In this way, you at least have them on paper and won't risk forgetting any of them, which can bring unexpected and undesired results. What often happens when the weekend is approaching is that we forget about everything and start enjoying ourselves, only to find ourselves miserable the next Monday with a ton of tasks pending from the last time. What we should really do is to organize and structure our thoughts, put them on paper and keep track of them. Keep the list somewhere you can see it, don't try to hide it or try to avoid it, but rather confront the tasks. This allows you to tackle them one by one in order of priority. It's important not to fall into desperation because of too many complicated tasks. As long as you're going forward and progressing, there's nothing to worry about. To help us be more productive in time, we need to first clear all the rubble in our minds. Organize and structure our tasks so that we can tackle them and enjoy our free time blissfully. If you still aren't making much progress, spend too much time on certain tasks, or seem to be ending up in too many dead ends, then you should start making a schedule. Yeah, I know, that word brings fear into many people. We've all been there, especially that dreaded schedule in school that we used to follow. It seems like you're imprisoning yourself in some sort of cell. But this is because we have had bad experiences with scheduling. If used well, it can actually liberate you from many tasks. Using a weekly schedule is generally the best idea, specifying time slots in which you're going to do something in particular with all the breaks in between. This is how most high-performance professionals organize their days. So if you take a moment to sit down and get yourself a copy of a Monday to Sunday schedule, specifying each time slot on what you usually do every day, you can greatly amplify your vision on what you're actually doing on a daily basis. This allows you to pinpoint everything that you do and liberate a lot of free time for yourself. I'll leave a link in the description of the podcast so that you can download a standard schedule easily and quickly. This is also supposed to help you better manage your time and reduce anxiety since you are making tangible progress. It's not just a temporary tool, it's a tool that can be used to permanently manage your tasks and help you structure and focus correctly on what you need to accomplish. Developing a certain habit such as dividing your time into work, free time to enjoy in the moment, and free time with value and personal growth, such as working on your personal project or goal every weekend, can help you greatly enhance and define your vision and goals. One of the biggest changes you can make in your life is to use free time to start producing instead of consuming. I want to emphasize this part as it is what most successful people do. Start producing instead of consuming. Right now, you're consuming this podcast, which of course generates added value and growth to a potential future if you start implementing the actions. To start producing, you can try to learn a new language, practice public speaking in your home, write a paragraph of a book. These are some examples of many other skills you can start to develop. Just as important to have free time to enjoy ourselves as it is to building growth in progress, producing something. Having both of them creates the optimal balance for personal growth. The truth about procrastination is that it becomes a habit that we integrate in our day-to-day life without actually noticing how much time it's eating up. Bringing awareness to this situation is the first step you need to take. Knowing and being conscious of your lack of motivation. We procrastinate because we have nothing better to do, nothing to excite us or look forward to. A study conducted in Stanford University concluded that 80% of people that took the experiment had no idea what their passion was. They simply kept some hobbies and consumed content in their spare time. So finding a passion or purpose is quite a difficult task. And if you aren't passionate about something in particular, but keep doing it, It's like trying to walk on water. You might seem to be progressing in the shallow part, but you will eventually fall once you go far enough. That is why you must always find something you like to do, then start progressing. It's okay if you end up changing your passions to something else. We all evolve as human beings and change perspectives. So, with some type of passion and a sprinkle of determination and perseverance, we can start building a happier and more time-efficient future for ourselves. Alright, so a quick recap of this episode. Focus on completing tasks rather than postponing them to better take advantage of your free time. Spend some of your free time on activities that guarantee value and personal growth. Identify your Bermuda triangle to understand how your time is spent. Make a simple to-do list to track your various tasks to avoid forgetting and accumulating unexpected work, as well as completing them one by one. If things still aren't going as well as they might, make a weekly schedule to properly manage your time. Distinguish and separate when you use time for work, free time, and free time with added value and growth. Use some free time to produce rather than consume. Find a passion to develop and don't worry if it changes over time. These points serve as a guide that will help you mitigate and reduce procrastination. Don't worry about completing each and every point. You can begin with one single point and slowly start climbing up. Share this podcast with any of your friends or family that also struggle with procrastination. Please subscribe to the podcast as it greatly helps me to produce more content. Thank you for your time. Take care.